of a sudden the water just rushed in. It came up from the floors, from the sink, from the toilet bowl. Just in 3 to 5 minutes, it was up to my chest. So I jumped on the kitchen table because I had a drop ceiling and I thought I would go in the attic, and then the table tipped and I fell in the water, and I thought the way it's rising I would drown in the attic. I'd get stuck up there, so I went out the back door, and I was like in shock. Big waves, I couldn't see the fence. It was dark out, it was windy, things were flying all over the air. So I stood there. I stood with my back against the back door, and the water was getting up to my chin, and what I was standing on was a wheelchair ramp that I had installed for my mom because she was a walker, wheelchair, and miraculously it just disconnected from the house and it raised up a couple of feet. So even though the water was up to my chest, I was basically floating and holding on to the banisters and trying to balance it in the waves and the wind. I saw the boats and the cars floating down the block in all different directions, and I was afraid I'd get crushed, so I stayed in the yard. And I said my prayers, I made my peace, and I felt better that if it was my time, so be it. And then finally, my next door neighbor saw me, and she tied sheets together and tossed them at me, and I grabbed it, and she pulled me into where her garage is, and I was able to literally throw my body on her roof. So I got up on her garage and then jumped over on her second story deck here, and she took me in her house. So it took 4 days for the water to recede. There was 8 feet of water inside my house, all the way up to the attic. And I'm very grateful to MDS for helping me, for coming to my aid, and making me feel that my house is a home. I mean, I think one of the highlights of my life is when you put the toilet in for me. Thank you, Errol, for helping me with that, because that was a turning point for me. I mean, it was a nightmare back then, but now I'm just forging ahead, and I'll get there. And this is my home, my dollhouse, my new dollhouse. And I'm very grateful to you for